With 750 days in this world, and all of them spent in this location, I think it's time for something new. I've enjoyed every moment as this place has grown organically, one build at a time, and while building organically can be good, sometimes the broad strokes should be planned out. We've got some Greek ruins, a portal that's a little too far away, as well as a mining entrance that I haven't visited since building it in the first place. This means that today calls for a fresh start at a new place where the bigger picture can be kept in mind while we add the details. The chosen location is this large plains biome where a river courses through the middle and splits it into 3 equal parts, well, with a little help down the line at least. Now each part will contribute to the overall region with their own builds as well as their own lore, which in unison adds to the region's overall story. In this video we'll focus on the area to the left, which will include a logging camp by the tree line, a small keep by the river protecting a bridge connecting the two areas. In addition, a quaint village will be located here, which is what we will be building today. Now the plan is to add some purpose to the buildings here in the village, which is not only going to help us tie the local area into the lore, but it's also going to be an opportunity to employ some of the villagers from the naturally generated village over there. And it's just going to bring a little more life having those guys wandering around as well. But before we get to that, there's a few holes here that we have to patch up, because if we take a look down, there are mobs that are down there currently, and I think zombies will also be able to come up during the night, and that will probably not be very good for the overall health of the village. So we have a few modifications to the terrain and also some paths here that need to be laid out. Alright, so the paths have all been laid out for the village, and we have some small walkways here that stick out from the central road, and that's because we're going to be building quite a few buildings here today. The first one will be a bakery, which is going to be located over here, where we're going to be employing a farmer villager to sell us some bread and also make the entire space a little more lived in. Now over here across the road there will be a flower shop, where we're going to have the central house over here and the small shop located here facing the main road, and it's going to be one of the first things you see when you enter the village from this side. Now I have prepared materials for most of the buildings here in the village, and I was kind of surprised by just how long it took, but I guess that's the way it goes when you move away from the farms and resources of the old place. The bakery is one of the primary food suppliers in the village, producing a wide variety of food and cakes. However, recent turmoil in the region has limited grain supplies, putting a strain on the entire village and region as a whole. The flower shop is a recent addition to the village, aiming to offer a unique collection of plants, flowers and dyes. However, currently it is facing issues obtaining the desired collection. Doesn't that look good? I really like it. I think it's pretty cool, especially the baker sign here up front. So we have like the customer entrance where they walk up here, up the walkway, and they can like get serviced here at these two openings. And we can see some of the things that are already like for sale. Some pie, some bread, cookies, cake, stuff like that. And we have a little like oven place for them to cook their food, as well as like a place here where the recipes are. I think this is the recipe for the pumpkin pie up here. So we have that laid out as that is being processed. And we also have like parts of the ingredients for the cake and stuff like that, as well as like a few more utilities in the barrels here. If we head upstairs, we have the living room for the villager who's gonna live here. And he has a nice bed, some place for his clothes and like personal belongings, and also a nice image, sort of a little bit like a shrine maybe. And I picked the most scenic image I could find out of all of them. And yeah, it took quite a while to shuffle through, but I think this is like the best one for sure. We've also got a little bit of a study here, so you can like sit and have dinner and then pick up a book to read afterwards or whatever. And then out here, he has a nice balcony so he can overlook the village. We have a few more things as well. A small tree, a bit more of like storage area around here, and a cart, which is white and yellow because it's like ferrying grain and stuff like that for the bakery. And of course, the rear entrance here. which is more of like a private entrance. We have the flower shop here as well, so let's take a look at the shop part first, where we have like this nice overhang, which is green on top. Looks very nice. And then you can sort of walk in. There's a wide variety of flowers here and some pots as well. We should also probably have included like some of the taller flowers, but we can add those along the line. I don't really have them on hand right now, so I was a little bit limited to this here. Now, of course, there's a lot of like bushes and stuff like that scattered around since it's a flower shop. And we've gone for a little bit of a different color scheme here, where that one is like inspired by the mushroom stem block here with the side exposed. We just have the white here. Let's go inside. And this is like a little more of a humble home. As it's not that big, I can see I've forgotten to fill in some books, so I'll do that, as well as the flower pot here. But there's a little bit of a kitchen area, some paintings, and a place to sit, right? So all in all, not too bad either. Let me just go grab some books here. There we go. Some right here, like this. I had to raid the Stronghold library for all the books here, so we could fill these up, because these take up a lot of books. And of course, let's try some different flower options as well. That won't go in, that will go in. Okay, let's try that. Now, before we continue building the other houses, the plan is to get some villagers over from the village and get them situated in their new homes. And, well, we'll have to keep them in a minecart, I think, for the time being, because otherwise they can just run around and get eaten by zombies and stuff like that. So we'll have to be a little bit careful for their sake. But in any case, I don't have any rails or minecarts actually, so we're gonna have to go over here into the mining area and pick up some rails. Now here we are at the mining area. Let's jump down. We have to pick up both iron as well as rails here in order to get the minecarts and rails that we need. I'm trying to sort of refrain from just looting too much of this area, since we have like iron up there we could take, but I want to maybe transform this at some point, and I really want to like build something here. So it could be nice if we left things relatively untouched, so yeah, that it doesn't look weird and out of place with like holes stuck into the side all over the place. Even this one I think we're just gonna leave be. Now the further we get in here, the more destruction there's gonna be. This is the place where I've gathered most of the materials here, the stone materials, like andesite and stuff like that. So I know just around the corner here, there's gonna be an abandoned mine shaft that we can take the rails from. Oh, and also just down here, I found a double spawner. So if we take a look at this, look, 2 zombie spawners. Unfortunately, it is zombie spawners. It would have been really cool if it was like a zombie and a skeleton or something like that. All right, here we are. Let's get some torches out and pick up all the rails and some iron. I think that looks pretty good in the distance. It's always something that's sort of hard to judge when you build things initially, like the eye test of just walking around looking at it, but I think it's turned out pretty well. Alright, let's try to find some villagers that I haven't already given jobs. Those 2 guys are candidates. One of them is already a farmer, I can see. There's probably someone in here. Yep. But you don't want a job, do you? No. What are you guys doing? All of you guys in here. Let's grab a screenshot. They don't want to smile for the camera, but it's all good. Alright, so I think it's an opportune moment here to log in the trades before we get the guys tempted by all the barrels and other stuff that we have lying around. And in order to do that, we need some emeralds. And we have a Fletcher guy here, which is pretty easy, so we can trade some sticks for emeralds there. But I did actually have another guy up at the village, so let's go take a look at what happened to him. So I was planning on trading with my 2 good friends who were located up here. But can you guys hear this laugh here? Yeah, that's not a good sign. I think they've actually been struck by lightning, this area here, even though they were underground, and they've turned into some witches. I don't think there's any way to get them back. We even had a pretty good mending trade guy. He was quite cheap, but I guess that's down the drain. If there's any method to reverse it, please let me know, because I'm not aware of it at least. Alright, buddy. There we go. You're locked in. We can move him over to his new station here. Off you go, buddy. Into your brand new shop. Now we just gotta hope he will start selling bread to us and other food items as well. Let's move you inside as well. Do you want to get a trade, buddy? Well, in any case, enjoy your new home. Well, now that I think about it, this guy isn't really particularly safe. We're gonna have to cover him up. Let's put you underground instead. I think that's the safer bet. Don't think you guys are gonna be safe out here either. So, this is only temporary, but we're gonna have to put you underground as well. Now with the villagers safely tucked away, it's time to get building again. And we're gonna build an inn here, a shepherd's hut over here, and a fisherman's shack down by the river. So let's get to it. The inn is a common location for travelers to stop at on their way to and from the main city. It offers up a warm meal as well as a safe place to rest. The shepherds are the driving force behind the wool production in the region, with the sheep being kept close during recent troubling times, but primarily they've roamed the hills beyond the village. By the river, we have the fishermen who travel upriver for fishing opportunities and bring fish back to the village, along with ferrying other commodities along the span of the river. The small wagon stationed outside the inn belongs to the traveling cartographer who travels between villages, kingdoms and greater regions and maps out the roads and landmarks between them.